Okay, with no further speakers, Mr. Scott.
I do want to indicate that each of the candidates that we interviewed were delightful people, and as far as we know, each of them had honor, and we respected each one, and we appreciated the fact that they came to participate. I would like to make a motion to approve Aaron Hake for the position of treasurer. If someone will second that, followed by discussion to take place after the motion is made.
Second.
Okay, is there further discussion? Ms. Speigel.
I can't look at you, Saul. When Mr. Fuller asked the question about this, there's more to the story. And that's why I'm in a very, very heartfelt dilemma. By the way, Mr. Haley was appointed city treasurer.
No, I know that.
Well, you said no one's been appointed. He was appointed city treasurer, was in the office for 10 years.
Right, but he won elections to continue.
But he appointed and then ran again.
Right.
So
Okay.
you don't know that the next person, whoever you appoint, won't run again for city treasurer and remain in that office.
That's true.
So I think that's an unfair statement that you made. So just to clarify why I'm in such a bad dilemma, there's two issues. One is, for me, Saul is, those of you who don't know, one of my closest friends for well over 25 years. So that really puts me, so I know about integrity. You know, when they say your closest friends you can trust with your kids, I trust Saul with my kids, my grandkid. You know, there is an incredible trust, and I know the integrity and I know his work ethics. The problem is that this goes beyond just the people in the position. There's a process. And the dilemma comes in the process exactly as Mr. Fuller questioned it. I was talking with the staff at Congressman Calvert's office, concerned about what is going on our agenda. Conversations with several of our elected representatives, questioning why do we have a difference on the agenda? Why is there two portions on the agenda, two different items? Well, the real fact is, we had the ad hoc committee meeting. It was posted on an agenda. And I'm not going to throw you under the bus, okay, Randy? I'm just going to put it out there. You never once said anything. It was on the agenda. We could have easily pulled that before we appointed an ad hoc committee. That was not done. You were here at a study session. You went home. I realized you had some medical things, but you never said anything. That whole week we had the agenda, the day you were here in the council chambers. Once we appoint a committee, by doing the process that you did, you undermined a 20-plus year process of our committee structure. And my dilemma is, if we go against a committee that this council voted on and then allowed another agenda item, instead of just making an item and discussing it at this point on the item rather than putting on the agenda, that to me went against the committee structure. That's been a process. That means we have now a question of every committee we have, infrastructure, public safety, that one of us won't undermine the committee by putting on an agenda something totally opposite of what the committee's recommendation is. The process is we discuss it under that recommendation, and if you don't agree, you can vote it down. But to undermine the process is where I'm having a big dilemma. So it's beyond the people for me. This is what we're setting for precedence for hopefully the next 20 years, and I think that to me is pivotal. And I had a long talk with Saul yesterday, said, I am really struggling with this. I'm going to get emotional. He is a very good friend. And would I want him? Absolutely. But I'm not elected to want my friends to have positions that I have an ability to give. I'm elected to do a process that's in place that we voted on at a meeting, and to undermine that process is something that makes me very concerned as an elected official.
Could I respond to that?
Yeah.
You know, that was all done before I became a city councilman. That was done a week or two just before I was sworn in. The day you're referring to was a day I had surgery the next day, and I had to leave. So I wasn't in a position to respond, and no, I didn't, because of that upcoming surgery and the condition I was in. I didn't have the agenda. There was no desire in my mind to undermine anything. I checked with management. I checked with our attorney. This is unusual, but just because something's unusual doesn't mean you're undermining something. I was very forthright at the city council meeting that I wanted to somehow participate. It was our mayor, our new mayor, who suggested that I go ahead and interview myself. I had no idea, and even up to the very end, up till the publishing of the agenda, who they had picked. It wasn't, I was trying to go against them at all. Obviously, this being a seat that I'm vacating, it means a lot to me. And I wanted to be involved in the process. I communicated that to everybody. I went through all the proper channels. Again, just because something's unusual doesn't mean it's wrong. And yeah, there are exceptions to procedures, but that doesn't make them, wrong to do and wrong to think through. Solomon's been presented. That was my desire. He was, again, Aaron's, and one of my very good friends, Sharon. She was really on the list as well. I told her after talking with her, I was so impressed. I said, next time we run for the same office, I think I'm going to vote for you. She was just really, had her act together. But it was, it is what it is. Whether or not people are confused, yeah, when something's unusual, it is confusing. But I can tell you, I had no desire to undermine anything that was you had put together. And there are these, I think, who could testify. I talked to a lot of people before I did this.